Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Alright folks, let's dive deep into this swirling rumor mill around the Dallas Cowboys and the possible trade for Miami Dolphins star cornerback Jalen Ramsey. The chatter has been heating up lately, especially after ESPN's Jeremy Fowler dropped some hints suggesting that the Cowboys might still be in the market for more players via trade this offseason. Now, Ramsey wanting out of South Beach isn't exactly news anymore. That storyline has been simmering for a while, with a possible Rams reunion gaining steam. But things got complicated because Miami isn't willing to eat enough of Ramsey's hefty salary, which has slowed any potential deals down. So where does Dallas come into the picture? Fowler, who talked to sources in the Cowboys camp, suggested they might be a team to watch for Ramsey, especially given their recent trade activity. Now let's talk about that trade activity, because the Cowboys have been busy, no doubt. This offseason, they've already executed 4 trades, snagging quarterback Joe Milton and wide receiver George Pickens on the offensive side, plus linebacker Kenneth Murray and cornerback Kaiir Elam on defense. Fowler's point was that since Dallas is so active on the trade front, they could make room for one more splash, Ramsey. But here's the kicker. Those 4 trades came at a price, with Dallas handing over multiple draft picks, including 3 in this past draft, and even more picks set for 2026 and 2027. That's a serious investment in capital. So the question is, are the Cowboys really going to be willing to part with even more draft assets to get Ramsey? This is where some insiders throw cold water on the speculation. Ed Werder, a trusted Cowboys insider at WFAA, expressed skepticism about Fowler's suggestion. Werder said that the idea of trading for Ramsey hasn't even been a topic of discussion inside the Cowboys organization, at least for now. That's a big deal coming from someone so close to the team's inner workings. It might mean that the Cowboys are content with their current roster moves or are being cautious with their remaining draft picks. But then again, teams rarely show their full hand early in the offseason, so nothing's off the table yet. Let's not forget why the cornerback position is even a question mark for Dallas in the first place. This offseason, cornerback was identified as a position of need. The Cowboys had some struggles last season with Darren Bland's injury and Trevin Diggs having a down year. On top of that, Jordan Lewis, who had been a bright spot at nickelback, left for Jacksonville in free agency. So the secondary definitely needed some attention. But here's the hopeful twist. Bland is expected to bounce back in a full 2025 season, and Diggs, despite the recent slump, has a proven Pro Bowl pedigree when healthy. The Cowboys haven't been sitting still though. Their acquisition of Kaiir Elam and the drafting of Shalvin Revel from East Carolina in the 3rd round show that Dallas is building depth and hoping these moves will shore up the cornerback room. So while adding Ramsey would be a big upgrade, Dallas might feel confident in their current plan without mortgaging even more draft capital. It's a calculated gamble, but one that reflects some faith in the players they already have. That said, the idea of Dallas as a Ramsey suitor shouldn't be completely dismissed. Teams do pivot quickly, especially when it comes to adding elite talent like Ramsey, who is one of the best shutdown corners in the league. The Cowboys front office has shown a willingness to be aggressive in trades this offseason. So if the right deal came along, especially if the Dolphins soften on Ramsey's salary demands, Dallas could jump in. But as of now, the smoke is thin and the fire hasn't really caught. From a strategic standpoint, adding Ramsey would transform the Cowboys' defense. He's a lockdown corner capable of neutralizing the opponent's top receiver, which would alleviate pressure on the rest of the secondary and pass rush. That's huge for Dallas, especially given their defensive challenges last season. However, the cost in draft picks and salary cap space would be significant, and that's where the front office's prudence comes into play. Balancing immediate impact with long-term sustainability is a tightrope every team has to walk. So what should fans expect? Right now, the safe bet is that the Cowboys will continue to lean on their off-season acquisitions and draft picks to improve their secondary. Ramsey's name might pop up in rumors, but the hard reality is that the financial and draft capital hurdles are pretty high. Dallas might prefer to save their resources for other needs or future moves. But the NFL is unpredictable. Trades happen fast. And sometimes the Cowboys can surprise everyone if they see the right opportunity. In conclusion, while Jeremy Fowler's insight opened the door to a possible Ramsey trade to Dallas, the overall evidence points towards skepticism. The Cowboys have been busy, sure, but maybe not looking to make another big splash just yet. With internal doubts from trusted insiders and their current cornerback plans, it feels like Dallas is playing the long game. Still, we're in the thick of offseason, and any minute this story could twist. For now, Cowboys fans can watch closely, but keep expectations realistic. A Ramsey trade isn't off the table, but it's far from a done deal. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? All right, let's dive into this juicy rumor shaking up the NFL rumor mill. Word on the street is that Nick Bosa, one of the most feared pass rushers in the league, is about to ink a deal with the Miami Dolphins. Yes, you heard that right. The Dolphins are reportedly closing in on bringing Bosa into their defensive front. This potential signing would instantly transform Miami's defense from solid to downright terrifying. Bosa's ability to pressure quarterbacks has been a game changer for the San Francisco 49ers. And if he truly moves to Miami, it's a massive upgrade for the AFC East squad. Now, what makes this rumor even spicier is a statement attributed to Bosa himself, where he apparently threw down the gauntlet to AFC quarterbacks. The QBs of the AFC better watch out. Imagine that swagger. Coming from a defensive star who knows exactly how to disrupt our offensive plays. This isn't just confidence, it's a challenge. Bosa seems to be saying, I'm coming to your division and I'm here to dominate. For quarterbacks in the AFC, that's a warning to stay sharp and be ready for a whole new level of pressure. On the field, for the Dolphins, landing a player like Bosa is not just about defense. It's about sending a message to the entire league. Miami has been building a promising roster, with Tua Tagovailoa showing flashes of brilliance at quarterback and a rising offense. But defense has been an area where the team needed a true game changer. Bosa's presence could turn Miami's defensive line into a nightmare for opposing offenses, especially those AFC rivals who will have to face him twice a season. It's a power move that could elevate Miami from playoff contenders to legitimate Super Bowl threats. Of course, this deal is still swirling in the rumor clouds and nothing official has been announced yet. But the buzz around the league suggests that negotiations are moving fast, and both sides see this as a perfect fit. For Bosa, a new contract with the Dolphins could mean a fresh start and a chance to be the cornerstone of a defense in a young, hungry team. For Miami, it's about finally having that dominant defensive player who can change the momentum of games with relentless pressure and unstoppable sacks. This move, if it happens, could also reshape the dynamics of the AFC. The Dolphins stepping up their defensive game means the Patriots, Bills, and Jets will have to adjust their strategies. Those quarterbacks, Mac Jones, Josh Allen, and others, will suddenly have to navigate a much more aggressive and talented pass rush. Bosa's speed, power, and football IQ are exactly what offenses fear most. He's a disruptor, and placing him in Miami's defense could lead to more turnovers, hurried throws, and even game-changing plays that flip the script in tight contests. From a narrative perspective, this rumor fuels the ever-intense AFC East rivalry. The Dolphins have been building quietly but steadily, and with Bosa potentially on board, they send a signal that they are no longer underdogs. It's a statement that Miami is ready to fight tooth and nail for dominance in the division. The energy around the team would skyrocket, and fans would be buzzing with excitement. The NFL landscape, particularly in the AFC, could get a lot more thrilling with this level of competition heating up. And let's not forget the personal element. Nick Bosa's journey so far has been impressive, marked by high-impact plays and clutch moments. He's a player who commands respect, not just for his physical talents, but for his leadership on and off the field. Joining the Dolphins might offer him a new platform to further elevate his legacy. For Miami, having a player like Bosa in the locker room would boost morale and inspire the defense to reach new heights. It's the kind of signing that creates a ripple effect beyond just the on-field results. As this story develops, fans and analysts alike will be dissecting every detail. What kind of contract will Bosa get? How will the Dolphins adjust their defensive schemes to maximize his talents? Will this move inspire other high-profile players to consider Miami as their next destination? These are the questions that will dominate conversations as the NFL offseason progresses. But one thing is clear, if this deal goes through, it will be one of the biggest headlines of the year, shaking up the league and setting the stage for an electrifying season ahead. In the end, this rumor about Nick Bosa and the Dolphins isn't just about a player changing teams. It's about the promise of a new era in Miami football. A challenge thrown down to the best quarterbacks in the AFC and the potential rise of a defensive powerhouse that could alter the balance of power in the NFL. Whether it's true or not, the mere possibility has fans buzzing, analysts speculating, and opponents bracing for impact. The countdown to the next NFL season just got a whole lot more interesting. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!